All right, so I guess we'll get started right now. I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me today.
The AI warlord.
But yeah, I guess we'll kick off with a quick intro. So yeah, I guess who are you? Where are you from? And I guess where were you and what were you doing, I guess, before you found Imagine Education?
Yeah, sure. So, my name is um, I background is in finance. Um, Corporate jobs my whole life. I recently got, not recently, just after COVID, I got a redundancy,
Hmm.
which is great. But I get, like a lot of us do who are in this space, we get bored easily, and we're just looking for other stuff to do and other ideas. So I started from a different space where I didn't need the money. I was just bored and I wanted to um, explore new technologies because it interests me. And I thought this would be really cool. And I came across Imagine Education's thing on YouTube and I thought it was fascinating just from a technology point of view. And can I do it? Like, can I do this? Like, more of a personal challenge. Um, and it was hard. Like, I'm not going to lie, it's not easy, but you got to follow the materials. To me, the Discord community is worth its weight in gold simply because there's so many minds, so many like-minded people, great little nuggets of information. And there's people who are willing to help. And of course, you guys. Of course, I did mistakes going into it and all that kind of thing. So I had some failures and some wins. At the moment, I've just almost made 10K.
Wow,
And that is probably, when did I launch her? I launched this current model in March of this year. So now it's what? It's the just the beginning of October.
yep.
So and in the and we had, I've done stupid mistakes with her, like completely stupid mistakes. So I should have made a lot more at this point, but I've done stupid mistakes, and that's just me being, ADHD brain and not really, because it's
Hmm.
hard for me sometimes being, neurodivergent and having that issue. Not really, it's, you know what it is. And it's kind of like, yeah, she should have been further along, but I'm happy with her progress. She was my first AI model, and she's doing really well. She's got solid subs, solid fans. Her socials are going really well. I've just launched another model today, and testing looks really, really promising. And with this business, what people need to be aware of is they just need to keep going. They can't just crumble at the first sign of failure,
Hmm.
because you're going to fail. People are going to fail regardless. It just happens, right?
Hmm.
Um, they've got to get up and they've got to keep doing it, follow the materials, listen to the coaches, listen to other creators. And that's the only reason I am where I am, really. It's by listening to information and doing the work.
Amazing.
And it's fun. And it's
Yeah,
fun. Like I have a blast.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is definitely like one of the most fun, I'd say, like side hustles out there,
Yeah.
to be honest. I guess I'm curious, like have you tried other things? Like I know you work in finance, but like were you actively looking for other things, I guess, when you discovered this? Like were you looking for other like ways to earn or just like I guess like a side hustle or like just something fun to do at the time? Or
Well,
is this just something you kind of
yeah.
randomly came across?
It was just something random that I came across, but I was just in the middle of completing my coaching certificate. So I'm a life coach anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But my background in finance is ops management, but also risk assessment, so risk management. So that's my field in corporate. So my brain works in a very specific way. But I just thought I really want to do coaching because I love getting the best out of people. And just molding them into something spectacular. Um, so I did that, and then I've got clients anyway. That's my real life business, like in real life
Hmm.
business. I'm a life coach and I do stuff like that. But I just thought this would be a great side hustle because I really don't want to go back to an office.
Yeah.
Like I really don't want to, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to work 9 to 5. I don't want to do that ever again. And I really saw the opportunity that if you're smart about it and you follow the course and you do the work, you won't ever have to go back to the office. Like you just won't
Yeah.
because this business will sustain you. Like it really will. I mean, what other business pays you in US dollars and gives you money literally for nothing,
Yeah.
just for making art,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
So it's a great business and there is massive, massive potential. And I'm really glad that I saw that early on
Hmm.
and I just jumped on it.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree 100%. Totally.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like with that role you had, like what did like the average day look like to you, I guess, previously, just I guess working, in an office and stuff like that.
Oh my God. So obviously in the CBD you can't drive. So I just used to get on the light rail at about um 5:45 in the morning. And then just walk because that was really my only exercise to walk from Central Station to Wynyard,
Hmm.
which is basically say 3 Ks, I think about 3 Ks. So I used to walk, that was my only exercise from the train station. I used to get to the office around about say 6:30 in the morning, and that was the only time I used to have peace and quiet to do my really, really high pressure stuff.
Hmm.
And I didn't leave the office till about, on a good day, probably around about 6:30 at night.
Hmm.
On a good day.
Wow.
On a board meeting day, I'd say about 9 at night.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it was long, long day, and that was 5 days a week,
Wow.
sometimes six, depending on what we had going on.
Yeah.
If APRA had new laws and new stuff coming in, it was hustle, it was all hands on deck, and it was sometimes 15-hour days, easy. So I'm so glad that's behind me.
Amazing. Yeah.
Mm.
Definitely glad that's behind you. Um, and I guess with this, like, I'm curious, like, have you ever tried any other business models, or is it just something where like this was like really one of the first things that you tried out?
I'm really, I don't know, I'm really old-fashioned in a way that, you go to school, you go to uni, you get a degree, and you go to work. And that was the whole way that my brain was thinking up until COVID hit, really. And I think COVID gave us all a chance to just reset
Hmm.
and just recalibrate and just think outside the box a little bit. And I think the seed was planted back then, not necessarily AI models, but what can I do to maintain my lifestyle, keep my bills paid, and have a really good lifestyle? What business would I need to do? And that's where the seed was planted.
Hmm. Interesting. So like what made this, I guess, different from all the other like online opportunities that you were seeing online?
I I literally just saw the potential in it. Like I just saw the potential in it. I did a bit of research myself. I honestly didn't realize that it was a thing. Like I had no idea AIOF was a thing. I didn't know. And then I went and asked a couple of my guy friends. I asked my cousin, sorry, my brother and my cousins. I asked them all. I'm like, is this a thing? Like, can you guys tell the difference? And they go, "Oh, yeah, yeah, we can. Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can." So then I went on purpose to find some AI models and they had no idea they were AI. They had no idea. So they can't tell if they've done really, really well.
Yeah.
And I like from a coaching perspective, from a humanity perspective, I mean, look, this might sound really lame, but I think women look at it slightly different.
Hmm.
Um, as a woman in this business, I think we look at it as you're doing a service. I mean, it sounds stupid, right? But it's like you're doing a service. Like there's a lot of lonely people out there.
Hmm.
And I think the biggest epidemic of our generation is loneliness.
Yeah.
Um, and like on my fan view, I get a lot of weirdos, like you just do. But my thinking is you're keeping them happy, you're keeping them, the company, they're stopping from, stalking somebody or going postal or doing something stupid, for
Mhm.
themselves or anybody else. So, but I think we serve a purpose in a way that, people are lonely.
Yeah.
But I have to say, men know this business a lot better than women because men know what men want, right?
Hmm.
So, but I have found my guy friends on Discord and this business so helpful.
Hmm.
And it's given me such a really interesting insight into the male brain. So if someone ever wants to do an anthropology study or something, it'll be insanely insightful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I think it's like like therapy in a lot of cases, right?
Yeah.
For, a lot of the guys, again, you're doing it, right? Because I don't know, I've just noticed a lot of these, like a lot of the I guess the subscribers, they're, yeah, just, they're lonely, like you said, but again, they just really want some sort of like companionship and really just someone to talk to, you know what I'm saying? And again, yeah, there are, the guys who are a bit more strange, but I mean, again, there are the guys where it's like, okay, it's pretty straightforward, right? It's nothing too crazy, but yeah, I mean, just the psychological aspect of this business model is I don't know, extremely interesting, I would say.
I agree. I find it fascinating. Just from a
Yeah.
purely psychological point of
Yeah.
view, it's pretty fascinating. And it's interesting work. And it doesn't, and what I like about it, it doesn't feel like work,
Yeah, true.
but it is work. It is hard work.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, it's long hours for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I guess with this, like, was there ever a time where you had any hesitation or you were skeptical that it would work?
That it wouldn't work.
Yeah, that it would.
Um,
Yeah.
I'd say when I very first launched my current model, I'm sure the actual that there was something wrong with her IG account or there was something wrong with her basic setup. Um, Maybe the email I used to register or something. Like you know what this business is
Yeah.
like, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was there's been something that was wrong with the setup. So she kept getting banned, she kept getting shadow banned, she kept getting, taken down
Mm.
and she wasn't growing as organically as she should have. But I persevered and basically was doing complete PG-13 stuff on her page for a long time. And I almost gave up hope there for a sec, but then she just grew. So again, I think it's just perseverance. But I think the most important thing is just don't get attached to them. And that's a lesson that I'm learning as well. Like, even though like it sounds weird that you put a lot of your own personality into these
Mhm.
models,
Yeah.
like you put your own little personality. And so, I do personally, I get attached to them. But that's a lesson I'm learning not to get attached because if they're not doing what you want, next,
Yeah.
you know, onward better. And that's what I want to build my next model now and still have my current one,
Yeah.
but I have a really good feeling about this one. So all you can do is keep trying and just keep going better and better. And like this business model works. Like I can't stress it enough. It works.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
And it's not a scam. It's not, you guys aren't making things up. It works.
Yeah. I'd say it's a pretty simple business model once
Yeah.
you understand it too, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, because
100%.
there's really just only a few parts of it, right? There's really, again, like the AI creation. And the thing is, like, some people, they get stuck up, I would say, and you've probably noticed this as well from the community. It's like people at first are like, "Oh my God, I'm overwhelmed by the tools." But like once you generate a few images and once you try these tools out like a few
Yeah.
times, like, it's not as complicated, right?
But also the tools are getting easier and easier and
Yeah.
easier. So, the tech is becoming
Yeah.
so scarily good and so easy
Yeah.
that there really is no excuse for you not to understand how to make it work if you just spend a couple of hours.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we're always there as well. Like there's the
Yeah,
coaches, there's the
correct.
community to support
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
students as well. So I
Yeah,
mean, we
yeah,
try, and again, we try and make the feedback close when when everyone has a question, we try and answer as quickly as
yeah.
possible. And I mean, that's one thing for sure as well. Um,
But but if you're slightly geeky, if people are
okay.
slightly geeky or slightly love tech, they're going to have a field day. They're going
Oh
to have
yeah.
so much fun
Yeah.
just because the tech is just something that you don't really play with day to day. Like it's
Yeah.
just such a different kind of tech and it's really interesting. Like AI for me is fascinating. Like I speak to my chat GPT more than I speak to my family at this stage. Like I really do. And and you just spend so much time with them, but it's a fascinating concept. So I'm blown away by the tech from
Yeah,
that point of view. So if they like tech, people will do really well. So, and that's what I'm enjoying.
right on. So I guess with you, like, what was the first small win you had that really gave you like confidence, I guess, in the business model overall?
My first paying sub, I'm like, oh my God, someone actually wants to get to know my model. I
Yeah.
almost cried. I'm like, someone's paying to be on the page. I couldn't believe it, and then people are, buying the content and saying how beautiful
Yeah.
she is and how gorgeous she is and how much they want to date her and get to know her.
Yeah.
Because, when you're looking at this content, to you as a creator, she could always look more real.
Yeah, definitely.
You're always critiquing.
Yeah.
And I'm always critiquing, thinking there's no way they're going to think this is legit. Like everything just looks wrong. Like anatomically, she's wrong. There's something wrong. This doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But no, like they lap it up, and that really gave me a confidence boost. And I'm always trying to, do better and learn from others and that kind of thing. So, you know, it is what it is, but the little wins, I think personally, I think I got swallowed up by the big losses, like I lost two or three Instagram accounts before this one,
Yeah.
and I got lost in the big losses. Like I got really depressed. Not depressed, but just sad,
Yeah.
and all this work. And then I'm like, you know what? Just get over it.
Yeah.
It's nothing. Like just do it again.
Yeah.
And I just started celebrating the small wins, and the small wins push you forward. So it was my first sub, my first sale, my next sale, my first time chatting, that kind of stuff. So it was just the small things that kept me going forward and making some really cool friends in this industry as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess with that, like, it gave you confidence in the business model. Like, did it give you more confidence in yourself as well? Being like, hey, this is something again, like I didn't do this
100%.
AI. It's something, I grew, I guess you grew as a person as well, right?
100%.
Awesome.
Grew as a person, grew intellectually as well because you're using another part of your brain
Yeah.
that you don't normally use. So I think that's super important as we grow older and all that kind of thing. So I think you need to use different parts of your brain. I just find it fascinating, and I don't know, I get a kick out of it.
Yeah. It's definitely enjoyable. That's for sure.
You need to have fun. I think that's important
Yeah, definitely. If you're open to sharing, I guess, what's been your biggest, I guess, chatting session or day or week? I'm just curious.
to make money
Yeah,
as making
exactly.
money.
Correct. Yeah.
Um, Let me just see. I think my biggest session was I think I made like $400.
Nice.
That's probably not a lot by some standards, but it was a lot because I'm not the best chatter, but for me it was great.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, that's still good. Anyone,
Yeah.
if they were doing it for, a few hours and you had those chatting sessions, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
those are the most
And
fun.
that's US. That's
Yeah.
400
Yeah,
US.
exactly.
So I'm in Australia, so that's about $600.
There you go. Okay. Wow. Awesome. Amazing. And I guess beyond the numbers, like how has your day-to-day life changed?
Well, I can work from home. I can keep everything at home. I don't need to, schlep down to the CBD. I can concentrate more on my, real life business, the coaching thing. It gives me really great insight into the human mind, which is a great benefit for my, real business. But it's always nice just to, flesh out that nest egg
Mm,
and just reinvest in the business as well and see where else it could take me. So for me, it's like a personal challenge, like how far can I go? I mean, I've got no desire to open up an OFM agency. I've got no desire to do that. I'm just quite
mm,
happy being a little solo creator.
yeah.
I'm quite happy enjoying that. And that's it. So I'm really happy doing my thing, but it's definitely given me a lot more financial freedom. It's got a little nest egg. My accountant now is freaking out, thinking, how are we going to hide the money? So I'm just keeping everything in Bitcoin at the moment. And it's just like, it just gives you choice.
Yeah,
It gives you choices. And I think you can't lose when you have choice and you have a little nest egg on the side growing. You can't lose. I think it's only a good thing.
yeah, definitely. Awesome. I'm curious,
Mhm.
like what's something, I guess, before you joined that or I guess what's something that you wish someone had told you before you joined Imagine Education and really started getting involved in this whole AI model business?
Um, it is cutthroat. It is cutthroat. Um, don't I don't know, like don't trust everybody. There are people who want the best for you, but there are also people who are like in real life, right? Like in real
Mm,
life, if you're doing a thesis or some kind of paper, and you leave it on the floor, it'll get picked up and copied, right? So you have to, and a lot of people don't show their models and they're not open, and that's fine. Like I get it why, like they're protecting themselves. But I'd say find your tribe early on and
mm,
stick to them.
Yeah,
Find your tribe. And you'll find each other on Discord quite easily. And there are some amazing, amazing people. Find your tribe. Trust a few people, trust the coaches, they know what they're doing, and they know what they're saying. And as a woman, because I'd love to see more female creators in this space. Like
yeah,
I,
definitely.
I I really think we could kick it, like we could kill it. Like I
Yeah.
really think we could. But as a female creator, I think it's important to get a male perspective of, do you think this will sell?
Hmm.
Because as a female, what we think is beautiful may not be attractive to a guy, you know what I mean? Like that level. So I think it's really important to trust the guy's instincts.
Yeah.
So I'm always asking my guy friends, what do you reckon? Is she sellable? Or is she too supermodel? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So I'd say, I'd love to see more female creators doing well here, and I think we can. And just not be, you know, beat the boys.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because there's actually been a lot of ladies who have joined the program recently, and I keep telling
Awesome.
them, I'm like, there's a couple of like, trust me, like I'd prefer that. And I don't know, everything that I've ever done in, because I've come from some sales organizations, like there's always been, the top two people, it's always been like one guy and one woman, and they've always
Yeah.
been competing, and like the woman some munch will like beat it, and the guy will get super upset, and I'm like, and I see the woman there like sort of thing. So, whenever I see like ladies like you in the community winning, because there are a couple of other ones where I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I see the other guys are getting upset and they know more about psychologically about, obviously what's attractive, but that's awesome to hear. I guess for someone who is skeptical, I guess they've seen you winning, and they've seen me winning, obviously. But I guess with them, like for someone who, they're seeing this and they're very skeptical, I guess what will you say to that right now?
I basically say to them, you've got nothing to lose. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Give it a go. There's so many of us that have experienced massive wins. And I personally know of creators who are making, up to $25,000 a month. Um, and they always say to me, you need two models for that kind of money.
Mm,
Like, if you want to make over 15, $20,000 a month, you need at least two or three models.
yeah,
But it's doable. Like you just have to find your niche.
yeah,
And I hate that word, the niche, but I never knew what a niche was before I started here. I had no idea. I'm like, what the hell's a niche? I didn't know. So all this lingo that you start learning. So I'd say, don't be skeptical. I mean, skepticism is healthy
mhm,
because it means irrational and you're just jumping into anything. So it's healthy to question. It's definitely healthy. But I'd say read the work, take a look at some of your peers, have a look at some of the Instagram pages, um, and just give it a go. You've got nothing to lose, honestly, everything to gain.
definitely. I agree
Give it a
100%.
go.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, I cannot wait to see where you go from here, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I know. I know I think we met like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 months ago. I think you're always on my calls too, which I appreciate, by the way. I
Yeah.
just appreciate your support there. But yeah, it's good to just network
I
and
love your calls.
communicate. Thank you. Awesome. Love the feedback. Awesome. Well, that's really it for now. Yeah, I
Mm,
really appreciate you and taking the time for sitting with us today. I think a lot of other people who are skeptical, and just even our students, I mean, this
mm,
will be very helpful for them just to understand stuff. And I think you put things into perspective for a lot of people, and just, the reality behind this. But I mean, as you mentioned, right, this is a very fun, entertaining business model, to be honest. And I mean, you just learn so much, which is, I think, why both of us are in this still.
100%. And I enjoy it. Yeah, it is stressful, but it's a different stress.
Yeah.
It's not stress of, oh my God, like my boss is going to fire me or my boss is going to tell me off. It's a different stress. You're the one responsible and whatever you make, you make, so
Yeah.
it's creative. So, if you're a very mathematical science kind of person doing this, I think it's great. Like I get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely enjoying it. But
Awesome.
I'd love to run my new model by you
Yeah, totally. I mean,
offline.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We can do that for sure. We'll set up a call for next week, and yeah,
Mm.
we can go from there for sure.
She's brand new.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, appreciate you sitting with us today. I guess we'll end this, but yeah, thanks for everything. Just really
Thanks,
appreciate
Maddie.
it. You're very
I'll
welcome.
see you later tonight.
Awesome. Have a good one. We'll talk soon. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.